Did you ever play Guitar Hero or Rock Band or anything like that?
Absolutely. I played both of them. I used to play a lot of Rock Band with my friends because Rock Band, if you'll remember, had the mic and the drum set and the guitars. So we had a lot of fun with that when I was in high school.
Did you ever play the drum set?
I did actually, yes.
Did you enjoy the drum set?
I actually did enjoy the drum set. It even had like a kicker on it and everything. It was pretty cool.
Well, this is Drums Hero VR. Hey guys, this is Moriarty.
And this is Brax, the best drummer on earth.
And this is Drums Hero. And this is Rock Band in VR.
Rock Band in VR sounds really neat, but like I said earlier, one part of Rock Band and the way that it was marketed was the ability to play with friends in an entire band. So just playing drums by myself wouldn't sound fun, but because it is in VR, it does sound exciting.
The social aspect is missing, that's for sure. There's not anybody else playing with you, but at the same time, you're strapped into a headset, so it's not so bad. This is a fun game, and it's a rhythm game, and I'm trash at it.
You are trash at all rhythm games from my understanding.
I'm completely trash at this game, but that doesn't mean that it's not enjoyable. It is enjoyable, and it takes all of the tropes from Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and it brings them into this. You've got the various lanes of things coming down at you, and you have to press them in the right order. The difference being that you're actually hitting where a drum piece would be, as opposed to hitting randomly on a guitar or a fake drum, as it were. So you've got real-ish drum sets in front of you, and you can change them to be even more realistic, in which case you might actually learn how to drum.
I'm kind of surprised if it does work really well that it does, like with the tracking. Do you know what I mean? Like having a fake drum set and it being really polished and accurate, where when you hit it with the imaginary stick and it actually works well, that's impressive to me. I'm kind of, like I said, a little surprised that it works that well.
There are still a couple of small little tracking errors, so you have to be pretty close up to your drum set in order for it to work, and the futuristic drum set that they like, I found to be more inaccurate than the classic style drum set that you can choose to use, but isn't the default setting. The classic one looks like a real drum set, and it feels like you're actually drumming on a real drum. Oh, it's a little bit better. The way that they handled the bass is a little different too, because obviously there are no foot trackers. So you have to hit a cymbal for the bass, which makes it a little bit not quite as great, but it's not bad. Altogether, this is all of the good parts of Guitar Hero and Rock Band taken and thrown into VR. In fact, it feels a little bit closer to Rocksmith, though you're not actually plugging in a real guitar or a real drum set to do it.
One thing that's important, I think, in a game that's basically about music or making music in a virtual world is the music itself. What's the soundtrack like? Did you enjoy it? Did it feel generic? Or did you really get into it? You know, did it make you feel something?
That's kind of the downfall here. You're absolutely right that the best part of all of these games is being able to play the music that you know and love. And instead, we've got a lot of indie music from bands I've never heard of. And I can't imagine that I will ever have heard of them. I'm okay with that to a point, but at the same time, again, it's really very much about being able to get in there and play the Pixies. That's one of the coolest things, is to get in there and you plug in your guitar, or you plug in your fake guitar, or you plug in your fake drum set, and you play songs by Aerosmith and songs by Led Zeppelin, and you feel like you're part of that musical heritage. With this, you're playing from literally bands that I've never, ever heard of. They are so indie that you've never even seen them on YouTube or SoundCloud.
That's sort of disappointing because, as you said, that was one of the most enjoyable parts. Like with Rock Band, for example, I remember one of the best things you could do is brag that you could play Greengrass High Tides on the hardest difficulty. And I'm not even a big fan of that particular song, but in the game, everyone kind of knew, if you can play Greengrass High Tides on hard, you're pretty good at this game. And it sort of became a thing between us. And without songs that are identifiable like that, I think it sort of takes away the potential to have that experience. I don't necessarily think that I would automatically dismiss the game because of that, though, because of the other things that you've said. So even if the music is music you've never heard before, is it bad?
It's not bad. It's actually kind of enjoyable. It's a fun game, and it's fun, and the music is okay. It's just not great. I would rather be drumming to some badass solo by John Bonham, as opposed to doing some random indie band that's just gonna be showing up at South by Southwest this year for the first time. It's just not so great. That isn't a reason not to buy it, though. And I think that this is a fun game. Now, one of the interesting things about this title for me is that they also have a non-VR version that's available for sale that you can play with a keyboard or a controller.
I am not sure that I would enjoy that.
I don't think I'd enjoy it either, but it certainly exists, and it's cheaper. The Drums Hero VR is a $20 game, and as with all of these, they have various music packs that you can buy for roughly $6. But you can also choose to get the non-VR version that you can use an Xbox controller or you can use a keyboard, and it's the same game, just not with the VR headset, and that will be sold for $5, and it's been on sale for $3. They definitely took the VR part of it, and they put the premium there.
Rightfully so. I have played, I don't remember how exactly it happened, but when I used to play Guitar Hero and Rock Band, I did eventually try it out with a controller just to see what it was like. Absolutely atrocious, did not enjoy it at all, don't understand why anyone would want to play a game about making music with a controller. I sort of feel like it isn't to that extent with the VR, but I still feel like the VR experience is really what this game should and does hang its hat on. So would you recommend it at the price it is for the VR experience?
I think so, yeah. It's fun, and I've always wanted to be a musician. I've always wanted to be able to play music, and I'm terrible at it. I own 15 or 20 different musical instruments, and I can't play any of them. So these kind of things give me that fantasy that I've always wanted of being able to actually play a game, or actually play an instrument, but I just know that I can't. I'm bad at these things, and I'm bad at the games, I'm bad at the real ones too, but I just so badly want to. And this at least lets me start feeling like I might possibly one day be able to play a real instrument.
I don't want to, No, you're right, man. You could absolutely do that. One of these days, you'll be a great drum player in real life.
Thank you for your sympathy. It's an alright game. It's fun. There's all of the tropes you come to expect, such as you start out on easy, and slowly it starts adding more notes to it as you get more perfect. You'll have the scores and all of that kind of stuff. I'll tell you that right now, with barely anybody playing it, I'm in the top 10% of this game, and I'm trash. So you can get in there and beat the crap out of me pretty easily.
That is an added bonus, right? Get to pass you on the leaderboards. I also like the stuff in the background. We haven't talked about that yet, but very colorful, and even the stuff that isn't necessarily going on in front of you, which I'm sure is where your vision is constantly. But notice the stuff in the background. It kind of feels like a stage, maybe. I like that too.
It also is a camera that shows you playing, though you'll never be able to look at it. It's very cool for recordings, and that's a nice thing, I suppose. But ultimately, as long as it's not distracting me from the things that are going on directly in front of me, which are the most important, and it didn't, then I'm okay. It felt good, it felt neat, it felt like you're on a stage. It gave you a good environment, a good experience, and it was fun to play. That's really all I can ask from, and considering that this isn't a new genre, it's been out for a long time, and it's made a lot of money for a lot of people. This is one of the things that Activision built their brand off of with harmonics and all of that. This is definitely a game that I think could do well, and it's worth picking up and trying out if you're into these kind of fake musical games.
When you said Rock Band in VR, this is basically what I had in mind. I think it checks off all the boxes that I would have required out of that. So I'm satisfied. I'm not going to say I'm blown away, but I am absolutely satisfied. And I will go ahead and give this game my recommendation as well.
So there you go, guys. That's Drums Hero VR. Let me know what you think. Do you feel like this gives you that Rock Band Guitar Hero feeling? Would you like to try it out in VR? Because I feel like this might be the one thing that a lot of people who've never played VR can look at and go, you know what, that would be cool. I would enjoy playing that. That would really get me going. Let me know down below. If you like this video, please give it a like and share it. And if you don't, then don't do either of those. But if you did, you can watch another video up there in the corner. And as always,
We'll see you guys on the next one.